Two.
Hello, I'm back. 2 weeks away. It's invigorated me. I think I'm worn out from resting, and now I'm trying to catch up with myself. But here we are. We're going to catch up with me. I'm going to catch up with you, and we're going to move forward. Where is this taking us next? So in order to do that, I want to tell you a little story. It goes way back to the 1950s. Old. But in the 1950s, the Mattel Toy Company came out with a new toy, a new gimmick, game kind of thing, and it was called the Magic 8-Ball. Go ahead and put up your hand if you know what I'm talking about and if you had one. You can still buy them, and I tried to get one for tonight, but, well, there are all kinds of complications, and I wasn't prepared to pay $50 some odd for one, but you can get them. So this Magic 8-Ball, about the size of a softball, and it was black, and it was made to resemble the 8-ball in billiards. It was called Magic because it supposedly could answer your questions, assuming you asked a question that could be answered either yes or no. It didn't just tell you yes or no, but it had to be able to be answered with yes or no. And so you'd have this 8-ball, and you'd ask a question, you'd shake the ball, and you'd turn it upside down, and this little triangle would come up with an answer in the bottom. We had one. It was a Christmas stocking gag gift. And it initially brought us such fun. We made up ridiculous questions, and we laughed together over the equally ridiculous answers. And the Magic 8-Ball eventually became a paperweight by our kitchen phone. I did go looking for one, as I said, but just impossible to find it. So, in my Google search, looking for this Magic 8-Ball, I discovered that, and I shouldn't have been surprised, but that there are numerous online versions. So you ask a question, you hit the button, and you receive a response. And from what I can remember, the responses are the same as what used to appear on that little triangle on the bottom of the 8-ball in real life. So I asked it some questions. My first one was, is today Wednesday? And it said, ask again later. I asked, are you for real? And the response was, my sources say no. I said, can you predict the future? And again, my sources say no. Is the moon made of cheese? Ask again later. Is the earth round? This is going to set the world right back. It said you can't count on it. I said, are my eyes blue? The reply, hazy. Try again another time. Do I like tomatoes? Very doubtful. I actually love tomatoes, so right out there on that. Can I swim? You may rely on it. There's a good answer. And then I asked it the question we are all longing to have an answer for. Will COVID be over soon? Without hesitation, the Magic 8-Ball on the Google system said to me, yes, definitely. Don't hold your breath. You can see that the responses are iffy at best. Certainly not something one can rely on for decision making or planning or for any kind of trust. If I were to ask all of those questions again later this evening, the responses would be different. The Magic 8-Ball was and is a game, a toy, something to laugh with. I must say, though, as a young child, I wasn't quite sure. And I found myself picking up the now paperweight and wondering if I could trust it. Maybe the best 2 out of 3, or the best 3 out of 5, or the best 4 out of 7. But not everything can be answered with a yes or no answer. Not everything can be answered by something intended as a toy, as a parlor game, we might have called it. But sometimes, wouldn't it just be nice to have somewhere to turn to for answers? Obviously, the 8-ball isn't going to do it. Google, don't be shocked now. Google can't actually answer everything. Siri has failed me more than once. One time my response to a message was, I don't know what you are talking about. And there was a slight pause. And Siri said, okay then, bye, and hung up on me. It made me laugh, but it certainly didn't accomplish the purpose, which was to send the message, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, we actually do have a place to go for direction. God has provided us with a lifetime of whispers through the Word, through other people. We don't always listen. Sometimes we're looking for the best 2 out of 3. Kind of playing rock, paper, scissors with God. God is always speaking to us. Often we fail to listen, or we fail to hear Him, or we fail to understand what He's saying to us, or we don't want to understand. This week I heard a beautiful prayer. It was prayed by someone who is struggling at the moment with being able to physically hear and is awaiting hearing aid repairs. And he expressed his frustration. I can barely hear anything that is going on around me. And then his words brought tears to my eyes as he prayed, with trust and conviction. But I can hear you, Lord. Speak to me. Show me what you want of me. To be so willing, to be so open, to trust that no matter what is going on in our lives around us, God is speaking. Let us be listening. See you Sunday at 10:30.